So I feel like I haven't made a video talking about the Saints in quite a while. So I was definitely itching in multiple different, parts of my body to, of course, do one. This includes my hair, my freaking, back, my balls, basically every place on my body you could think of it itching for me to make a St. Kilda video. And it's just so lucky that I've finally come up with an idea, as I recently saw a post reporting on something that was said on the midweek tackle, actually talking about the St. Kilda Football Club's free agent and trade targets for 2025. Again, it is no secret that the St. Kilda Football Club have a ton of cap space to spend. Again, it's being reported that they have in the ballpark of Richmond level cap space right now, which, as we know from earlier reports in the season, it was said that the Tigers had some of the most free cap space that a team has seen in a long time. And it's also now being said that St. Kilda could be in a similar boat, and with a ton of different reports that they're looking to offer a lot of mega contracts to players. Also, me just looking at the list and thinking, well, who the hell are they actually paying big bucks to? So they must have some money left. All of that combined now into this one report that, of course, does talk about some free agents and trade targets. Again, it is being said that a couple of the current trade targets, one of them is still Luke Davies-Uniacke, who, of course, the St. Kilda Football Club still have their eyes on. Now, as we know, North don't look like they're tracking that bad, and from what it's being said and the rumours around the league, as we know, is that LDU is most likely going to be re-signing with North Melbourne. Again, I think he's in a similar boat to what Finn Callaghan was with, GWS and the Saints being interested in him. It's like these teams are interested, like the Saints, but it just doesn't seem to be that the players are looking to move, and they seem to be happy with where they are. And I think that's the situation that LDU is in. So not much to talk about this one. Again, obviously, Tom de Koning, as we know, there has been a massive reported offer that the St. Kilda Football Club are willing to give him upwards of nearly $1.7 million or so per season. Again, the salary cap is for sure going up pretty soon. So all of these teams are, they're offering all of these players a ton of money that you would never think would actually ever happen. Again, the salary cap is going up in 2031, which means a ton of teams are offering players really long contracts and back-ended deals. Again, Finn Callaghan was actually offered $17 million by the Saints for, I think, 10 years or so, which he, of course, turned down. Again, it is being said that de Koning's offer was originally going to be I think, in that 14 to 15 million mark. But St. Kilda have so much, cap space that they're needing to spend, and literally no money they're paying long term, that offer, as we know, could be getting up to that Finn Callaghan type deal. Again, it won't be for 10 years, as Callaghan was a lot younger than what de Koning is, but this de Koning deal could be 7 or so years on just a little bit less of money. So I personally think this is the first free agent that the Saints are very, very likely to get. I think de Koning, in my opinion right now, if you ask me right now, I think he's more likely to leave the Carlton Football Club than stay. Again, from all reports, they are only able to offer him a $1 million per year deal, while the Saints offer could be anything from 1.3 to 1.7. And I absolutely love this for the Saints if they can make this happen. Again, I think the best part of Rowan Marshall as a ruckman and a player for their team is that he can naturally go play forward and just be a key forward. Again, when we saw what he was able to do with Paddy Ryder, that was one of the last times the Saints were a really, really solid side, making the 8 in 2020, of course, with Paddy Ryder as I think he was their main ruckman, on that year, with, of course, Marshall and him rotating. Again, it was absolutely insane to just be able to dominate in the ruck all games. You got 2 elite ruckmen playing in there, and of course, both of those guys were able to go forward Again, I think that's what they're trying to do with De Koning and Marshall. Probably have De Koning play 60% ruck, Marshall play 40%, just keep rotating them through. Again, both players can play around the ground so well and can go in and slot down as a key forward really nicely. So I think he would be a perfect player to bring in for the Saints. Again, you don't want to overpay him too much, but if you got no idea where to spend the money, shit, you might as well spend it here, and I actually think it's a really good offer. Again, I don't know where this one has really come from. This is a newer one for me that I've never heard about. But apparently the St Kilda Football Club are really interested in Aliir, which they're kind of in a similar boat as a lot of teams. Again, there have been some teams that are reporting to offer him some pretty decent money to get him out of the club. Again, Aliir, this could be a 900k type deal. Now, I don't think he's going to be on $900,000 every year, of course. Again, that could be really front-ended or really back-ended. Again, he could sign like a 6-year deal with the Saints, 5-year deal, and the first year is like 500k, 400k, and the last year gets to like 900. Again, the fact that this page says that it's going to be 900, don't think that will be every year. It won't be. And if you're the Saints and you can get that type of deal, especially with the salary going up so much in the next couple years, by the time, again, his deal gets to like 900, he'll probably be a pretty good player. And that will be like the new norm for players starting then anyway. So, really interesting player to be into. I think there's a chance they can maybe get him. Again, it goes on to say as well that Bergman, as a midfielder, wants to prioritise family and friends over footy. And again, St Kilda could be really interested in him. So I think that's really interesting, especially if Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller does go on to leave the Saints. Again, I don't know why this is taking so long, which makes me scared for the Saints that he actually might be looking to leave, because if Saints have all this money that it sounds like they have, and it's like some of the most we've ever seen a team have, surely they could pen one of their best players to a really long-term contract. So it does make me think that this guy is getting offers from South Australian clubs that he legitimately cannot refuse. And again, just to go back home, I guess. But the thing is, if you were able to get Bergman from Port Adelaide and you were able to get him down a deal for Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller, then it makes losing Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller not as bad if you can get Bergman in, who, I mean, will he be a backman or will he be a midfielder at St Kilda? This one says as a mid, which means that he might be looking to try and push for more midfield time, and I guess St Kilda need that. So it wouldn't be that bad, but God, you would really just want to pen Wanganeen-Miller to a deal. I don't know why this is truly taking too long, to the point where it now seems like he might actually be considering leaving as we are really speaking about this. Again, one player this page does not mention is actually a player that Kane Corns mentioned on SEN that I really want to talk about, because I think it would be perfect for the Saints. And that was actually him talking about Ross Lyon going out and bringing in Jamarra Ugle-Hagan to the team. Again, as we know, I think Jamarra only has 1 year left on his deal with the Dogs. And as it sits right now, and what Beveridge was saying on Classified, it doesn't look like Jamarra will ever play a game for the Dogs again, and he will be at a new football club next year. So it does make me truly think, as I sit here, the St Kilda Football Club and Ross Lyon being a pretty tough coach, but obviously being really well articulated, and I think a very good strategy coach as well. He knows how to play usually players in what I like to think their best spot. Again, I think Ross Lyon is a really underrated coach, if you can't just tell by the way I'm describing him. Again, I think if he could convince Jamarra to come to the club, bring he in to be a key forward, De Koning to be your ruckman with Marshall, to have Aliir come to the team as a key defender, and then a top 5 pick who will probably be a midfielder. 4 new players automatically to their best 23 next year, as well as Taru and Travali now coming through. This St Kilda team looks like it is very much improving. Like, can you imagine a forward line that has Max King, Rowan Marshall, and Jamarra Ugle-Hagan as your 3 key forwards. That would be absolutely insane. Again, if they made that happen, got Aliir, got, of course, you know, Koning to the team. The only problem I see them having is their midfield is still not really that great, but they would probably, you know, have their top 5 pick to go and use that on a midfielder. They could still go out and trade for an average type midfielder who's looking for a new role on a team, like what they did with McRae previously. Again, I could see them in free agency and the trade period bringing at least 3 players in the minimum, probably 4 or so players, and then going out and drafting another guy or 2 and just completely revamping this team in like 2 years. I just think the Saints are going to be able to do it. I think a lot of players would love to play for Ross Lyon, and I think I'm assuming it's almost a sure thing that they're going to get to Koning at this point. Again, a lot of things could change, but I think it's almost a sure thing that the St Kilda Football Club get Tom de Koning to the team, which I just think would be so amazing if they, of course, did. Again, I would really like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Who do you guys think the St Kilda Football Club should be targeting in this off-season coming up? And I guess throughout the season, should they go for Jamara, Bergman, you know, Aliir, of course, de Koning, LDU still, all of the above? Again, I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channel, which will be getting linked in the description down below as well. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.